Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The recap for Friday, January 26th episode of Days of Our Lives indicates that Alex Kyriakis visited Marlena Evans at work and expressed gratitude for their late encounter. Theresa Donovan is the cause for this late-night therapy appointment, Marlena informed Alex, and she gave her assurances that everything would be okay. Alex acknowledged that Theresa made a snap decision to return to California after discussing Theresa's recent slip and how Brady Black assisted him in taking care of her. Theresa was terrified, but Alex persuaded her to stay since he needed her. Alex was used to just wanting other ladies in the past. This was different from the way Alex had been passionate over Stephanie Johnson. That notion astonished him as it dawned on him, since Marlena had believed it sounded like Alex was in love. Marlena advised Alex to take his time and observe how their relationship progressed, but Alex was unsure if he should ask Theresa to marry him. Theresa appeared to the hospital after that on Friday's episode of Days, almost backing out of her attempt to approach Kayla Johnson. Theresa ultimately opened up to Kayla a little once she saw her and waved. Theresa considered falling in love with Alex after discussing her mistake and her resolve to never let it happen again. Alex was initially only being used by Theresa to irritate Brady. After that, he turned into a distraction. Theresa admitted that she felt bad about her previous transgressions, but she was now genuinely in love with Alex. Theresa decided that expressing apologies was necessary because Kayla had advised it would make her feel better. After that, while they were both still digesting the instruction they'd heard, Theresa and Alex had an awkward encounter. Xander cooked Sarah Horton a traditional Scottish supper for Burns' night at home on Friday's DOL show, and he also asked her about her day in the hospital. Xander encouraged Sarah to ask for a raise because she put in a lot of work. Talking about money made Sarah uneasy because it was the previous cause of her problems with Xander. But Xander made things right because he didn't suggest that Sarah wouldn't pitch in equally or that they wouldn't be able to care for Victoria Horton Cook. After a few flirtatious moments and a finished bottle of wine, the meal got back on track. They followed Sarah's suggestion and drank whiskey from the unique Celtic cup that Xander had indicated. Sarah gave Xander a passionate kiss and asked if they could take this into the bedroom before he started reading a love poem. Xander acknowledged that he would never love again, but he didn't think they should because he was working so hard to avoid making a mistake. Though there was still a lot of tension between them, Sarah hugged Xander and thanked him for thinking clearly for the two of them. It was evident that it was difficult for them to resist temptation when Sarah left Xander in the living room and went to bed. When Xander's phone called, a garbled voice said they needed him to kill someone as part of a job. On Friday's episode of Days, Stephanie joined Jada Hunter at a table at the pub and apologized for being late. Before they all started chatting about embarrassing personal experiences, Rafe Hernandez arrived and offered his own belated apologies. Rafe noticed that Stephanie hesitated, but Stephanie stated she was still swearing off men when Jada inquired. As she worked with two of her ex-partners, Stephanie acknowledged that it was challenging. Jada added that Stephanie had lived in Seattle for a while after Stephanie started talking about her past romantic partner from that city. Stephanie remembered Jada saying similar to her previously and wished they had kept in contact. Jada told Stephanie that Rafe was different from her dishonest, unfaithful ex-boyfriend in that he was charming, polite, humorous, and devoted when he was getting drink refills. When Stephanie inquired as to why Jada's marriage had ended, Jada said that her husband hadn't purchased her any jewelry in months when she noticed a jewelry charge on their credit card bill. Jada claimed her spouse became extremely irate when she approached him about her misgivings. Jada realized her marriage was over at that point. Stephanie once got up from the table to answer a call from Everett Lynch. Stephanie was in the pub with friends when Everett asked for her assistance reviewing an article, so she replied it would have to wait until the morning. Everett was enthused about the prospect of joining them and announced he was on his way when Stephanie urged him to. Everett appeared astonished when he arrived and spotted Jada seated with Rafe and Stephanie. Everett sneaked back out and contacted Stephanie to let her know he wouldn't be able to make it because Jada and the others hadn't noticed him at the doorway. Jada and Rafe could see Stephanie was disappointed after she told them. After Stephanie and Everett chatted on the phone once more during Friday's episode of Days, he pretended to be strange and called her into his suite to discuss an urgent matter. Everett stated they should sit down and that he had a confession to make when Stephanie arrived. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Stephanie will soon receive some amazing news from Everett, so stay tuned for that. Spoilers for Thursday, January 25th's episode of Days of Our Lives suggest that there will be drama in the small town. Highlights of the Days of Our Lives spoilers. A couple unites for a family member, two characters confront some difficult decisions, and one character is prepared to quit. Duo of spoilers. See ya never, united front, tough questions. Spoilers for Days. Stefan Demira and Ava Vitali are under investigation. The Thursday, January 25th, DOL spoilers suggest that Ava Vitali and Stefan Demira will have to deal with a grilling session from both Harris Michaels and Rafe Hernandez, which is expected to involve some difficult questions from Salem's Best. Will they be honest? Are Harris and Rafe connected to the drug ring by any incriminating evidence? Spoilers for Days of Our Lives. Johnny DeMera and Chanel Dupree remain together. Meanwhile, Thursday, January 25th, Days spoilers suggest that Johnny DeMera and Chanel Dupree will put up a unified front for Paulina Price. Since Paulina only recently learned that she has cancer, she probably won't be able to handle it by Thursday's show. It appears that Paulina will receive encouragement, positivity, and hope from Johnny and Chanel that she will overcome this obstacle. Johnny is a living example of it after all. Speaking of adorable Salem pairs, if someone stops by to assist Trip Johnson and Wendy Shin, they will be in charge of planning the charitable scavenger expedition. That someone will be who? Spoilers for Days. Everett Lynch is prepared to go. Finally, if nothing changes, Everett Lynch will be prepared to walk, according to DOL teasers for Thursday's episode. This seems to be related to The Spectator. After all, much to Everett's dismay, Chad Dinmurray insisted on Tuesday's show that the bistro, Steakfin's identity, and Holly Jonas's overdose not be included in Everett's drug ring story. When The Spectator keeps catering to sponsors and the Dinmurray family, will Mr. Lynch finally say enough is enough? When it comes to his journalism, that is, Everett is all about the truth, therefore his ethics might be driving him to the hills. It seemed like Trip Johnson's family had the same thought during the couple's big news announcement. Is Ava's prediction likely to come to pass? Trip and Wendy gave way to passion on the evening of the dinner party. It appears that Wendy may make an announcement about her pregnancy soon. Wendy appears to be a kind girl, according to DOL teasers. Although Wendy is capable of hacking and creating passports, she is typically shown as a good person. Wendy appears to be adored by all. Everyone adored Wendy when she was presented to Trip's family and friends. Wendy proved to be an excellent visitor as well, lending a hand in the kitchen to Kayla and Stephanie Johnson. But there have also been warning signs. The decision Wendy made to remain in Salem rather than travel to China to care for her parents was a major warning flag. Even though Wendy is in love with Trip, her decision raised serious concerns, especially since she didn't consult anyone before making it. Wendy's mother was waiting for her at the airport. Trip, meanwhile, was taken aback by the announcement. Even though Trip and Wendy ended up staying together, that particular instance remains memorable. In a recent episode, Ava was informed by Wendy and Trip that they had some news to give. It was obvious to Ava that Trip and Wendy were expecting a child. Ava appeared shocked to learn that she wasn't pregnant from Trip and Wendy. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Trip and Wendy attended the family dinner of Steve Johnson and Kayla. Wendy and Trip revealed they had some exciting news to share over that meal. The Johnson family didn't say anything, but it was obvious from the looks on their faces. The Johnson family assumed Wendy was pregnant, just like they did with Ava. So might that portend future events? It's probable that Wendy will become pregnant shortly. Tripp would be a man and do the right thing because he loves Wendy. Tripp would most likely with Wendy. Even though Wendy is adored by all and seems like the ideal match for Tripp, there are unavoidable warning signs. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.